I pulled down the cedar box from Mama's topmost shelf. A winter's worth of kitchen grease still clinging to itself. There it lay like quiet thunder, brim curved by years of sun. My daddy's hat, brown felt and sweat, the miles he used to run. He'd tip it low on courthouse days and high at county fairs. The crown held storms and harvest songs and every whispered prayer. I smell the diesel hay and smoke from branding nights gone thin. The buckle squeaks like porch swing chains where all our talks began. He taught me that a long dirt road can measure out a man, that fences are for fixing, son, not hiding where you stand. He'd rub that felt with callous thumbs, say wear it when you're true. A Stetson ain't a costume, boy, it tells the world about you. I lost him on a Tuesday when the wheat was nearly gold. Machines kept coughing mercy while the wind turned sharp and cold. We folded flags and shook hands stiff with tar of disbelief, and set the hat back in the box like weathered wordless grief. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, like the past on Sunday pews. A country mile of memory in those sweat-stained honest hues. If I put it on too early, I'll be wearing more than felt. I'll wear his dreams, his busted seams, the cards that he was dealt. So I lift it with a tremble, hold it level, not too proud. His voice comes like a steel guitar from somewhere in the cloud. Stand straight, speak plain, love steady, let your boots do what they do. Mama's boiling coffee black, the kind that wakes up true. She slides a box across the tile like passing on my youth. Bills pile like winter cattle by the gate that won't quite close. The well's a little muddy where responsibility grows. I try it on and feel it fit just north of scared and brave. It shadows both my fears and all the promises I gave. Out back the barn door chatters like a tooth in February. The Studebaker dreams of life but cranks up slow and weary. Old neighbors bring a casserole of sympathy and spice. They whisper how my daddy paid their feet at twice the price. They say a man is measured by the quiet things he mends. A hinge, a fence, a broken heart, a quarrel among friends. I step outside the county road, look straighter when I wear it. My breath turns into steam that lifts like something close to spirit. A meadowlark declares the fence line open for a song, and grief becomes a saddle that I think I might ride on. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, like the past on Sunday pews. A country mile of memory in those sweat-stained honest hues. If I put it on too early, I'll be wearing more than felt. I'll wear his dreams, his busted seams, the cards that he was dealt. So I lift it with a tremble, hold it level, not too proud. His voice comes like a steel guitar from somewhere in the cloud. Stand straight, speak plain, Love steady, let your boots do what they do. Maybe legacy ain't thunder, maybe it's a ticking clock, a rhythm in the tractor seat, a prayer at 6 o'clock. Maybe it's the way you tip your hat at every door, and leave a little kindness where your heel prints bruise the floor. I'm learning how to wear the weight without it wearing me, to bend like brim in summer heat, but not lose dignity. And if I fail, I'll dust it off and square it to the sky, 'cause men like him taught boys like me to look folks in the eye. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, but I feel a steady hand guiding mine through busted seasons on this patch of prairie land. I'm not the man he was, but I can try the way he tried, to hold my word, to love my own, to take the longer ride. I'll polish up that weathered felt with sweat that tells the truth, and all the roads that end with home will fit me like a proof. Stand straight, speak plain, love steady, I hear it clear and true. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, now it shines like something new.
There's a sign above the dance hall door, pink rope looped in light, a lariat of bourbon dreams that sparkles every night. It flickers like a campfire where the city cowboys meet to rope their ragged memories and drag them off the street. I'm a ranch hand out of options with a paycheck 2 days late. My pickup coughs confessions in the parking lot of fate. Inside the jukebox broncs around a two-step in a stall. Neon dust like carnival just settles over all. She's leaning on the shuffleboard, red lipstick, don't care, laugh. Queen of quarter jukes and darts with heartbreak in her staff. Says her name is Arizona, but she's never left this town. Says men like me keep coming through and laying trouble down. I tip my hat to courtesy, she toasts to bad ideas. We talk about the weather like we're dodging Texas squalls. But every time the sign goes ooh and lassos half the bar, I swear I hear my better self get hauled off in a car. Neon Lariat, rope me and spin me slow. Teach my boots a sinner's waltz my conscience doesn't know. Tie a bowline round my heart, drag it out to where it glows. Neon Lariat, I'm yours till closing time says no. The barkeep's got a handlebar that rides like winter wheat. He wipes the counter clean of sins with movement slow and neat. The band's a four-man fellowship of tenor, twang, and truth. They sing like Sunday sermons aimed at Friday wounded youth. Arizona steals my quarter and she calls the saddest tune. It pours like Ryan Mason jar slipped away. She says she once chased rodeos and barrel raced her fear, but gave it up for steady checks and Tuesday grocery beer. I tell her that I fed the herds but couldn't feed my pride, and watch my father's pasture shrink to someone else's ride. We laugh like busted fences do when calves find greener grass, and hush like prayer when petals still make second chances pass. The sign spits sparks, the loop gets bright like mercy in a storm. She takes my hand and suddenly the wrong things feel like warm. Neon Lariat, rope me in a spin me slow. Teach my boots a sinner's waltz my conscience doesn't know. Tie a bowline round my heart, drag it out to where it glows. Neon Lariat, I'm yours till closing time says no. If morning is a judge, the night's a friendly deputy who tips his hat and lets you go with wobbly lenity. But dawn will find the bar stool prints like tracks across my soul, and ask if I was dancing free or running from control. Arizona says decisions look like saints in colored light, but angels don't wear neon, babe, when daylight gets it right. I nod and pay the tab we owe to music, dust and doubt, and promise I'll unlearn the loop that keeps roping me in and out. Neon Lariat, one last spin before I go. I'll take the slow lane out of here and try a straighter road. Leave a tip for every song that caught me in its glow. Neon Lariat, thanks for mercy, let the morning know. If I return, may it be proud, not just because I'm broke. May I be the kind of man who chooses love over the smoke. Neon Lariat, dim to ember, let my better self take hold. I'll swap your rope of colored fire for daylight, simple gold.
Sunday comes in diesel blue with wheat dust on my sleeve. A hymn book made of ledger says what stays and what must leave. The tallest steeple in our town is corrugated tin, a grain elevated testimony to the harvest and the sin. The foreman rings a bell that sounds like supper in the fall. We gather by the auger where the sparrows peck and call. The preacher's just the wayman with a pencil at his ear. He tallies up the blessings and the losses year by year. Mama folds her apron by the scale that knows our names, while Daddy checks the moisture like a gambler checks his blame. I learned to count by bushels, learned to pray by drought and hail, learned that faith is just a contract signed with hope you mail. There's a rust along the catwalk where the kids carve hearts and dates, and gossip rides the conveyor like a judgment at the gates. We sing Rock of Ages to the creak of silo seams, and let the chaff like incense arise to mediate our dreams. This is our grain elevated gospel
spread when futures fell like rain. He ties and fence posts quiet with a limp that spells his pain. Miss Lorraine keeps books at night and sings like country dawn. She harmonizes mercy when the numbers come up wrong. We pass a plate of socket wrenches down the loading bay, because sometimes what a neighbor needs is torque more than we pray. The kids kick bottle caps and learn the 10 Commandments bones, like don't steal seed, don't salt the well, don't leave your hurt alone. A trucker rolling northbound tells a tale of foreign ports, where wheat from fields like ours feeds mouths in cities, wars, and courts. We listen like it's prophecy, then laugh to break the spell, 'cause prophets charge by axle weight and stories sell as well. The siren on the tower tests at noon and shakes the dove, reminding us that weather is a cousin to tough love. The ledger turns to hallelujah when we hit the mark, and sorrow signs the margin when the clouds come late and dark. This is our grain elevator gospel, tin and timber, grit and grace, where the wind writes holy chapters in the dust across your face. Raise your hands like stalks in August, bow your head like winter wheat. There's a sermon in the silo and a benediction beat. If faith is measured bushel deep, then mercy weighs in tons. It pours like golden thunder through the chutes to tired ones. We name our fears like rodents that we trap but never hate, and let forgiveness fumigate the corners where they ate. I'll take communion from a thermos, coffee black and true, and pass around a sandwich cut in fours like something new. We break the bread of labor, drink the cup of diesel smoke, and bless the hands that lift the grain and mend what hunger broke. Here in our grain elevator gospel, tin and timber, grit and grace, we'll weather out the market stones with shoulders braced in place. Raise your hands like stalks in August, bow your head like winter wheat. There's a sermon in the silo and a benediction beat. When harvest moons are faithful, when the droughts begin to cease, we'll ring the bell that calls us home and truck our prayers to peace.
The neon clock is half past gone. The jukebox hums its scars. Old Miller wipes the counter down beneath the string of stars. Out back the horses whisper low behind the leaning stalls, while country ghosts in denim coats play poker down the halls. This barn's been bar and chapel both since '79's long drought, where boot heels beat communion and the jukebox sang the doubt. Tonight the sawdust smells like tears and sweet corn whiskey burn. Each bottle's got a sermon every stool's a slow return. The crowd thins out like cotton rolls when August starts to fray. Just me and some old lovers left to drink their fights away. There's talk about a foreman job that moved to Santa Fe, and talk of folks who never learned to leave or ever stay. I nurse a glass that sweats regret, it stares right back at me, reflecting all the promises I broke unconsciously. The waitress hum Amarillo skies, chairs go upside down, her voice like mercy sweeping dust across this weathered town. It's last call at Miller's barn, where the broken find their calm. Raise your glass to the lost and gone, to the whiskey saints who carried on. If you prayed or cursed beneath this roof, you've got forgiveness in your palm. It's last call, one more song at Miller's barn. The jukebox plays a waltz too slow for lovers still awake, and I recall a midnight dance I never meant to break. Her laughter lit the rafters up like July's county fair, and left a perfumed memory that still hangs in the air. We carved our names in cedar beams, 2 hearts, 1 cowboy knife, then rode off in directions that unhitched our shared life. Now time has sanded down those marks till only ghosts can tell, but every chord the band strums seems to ring that farewell bell. The barkeep kills the overheads, the lanterns dim to hush. Outside a train moans gospel through a sea of amber brush. She says, "You heading home, my friend, or stay until the dawn?" I say, "Home's the place that waits when all the songs are gone." He nods and pours a parting shot, the holy amber kind, that burns away the pieces I could never leave behind. It's last call at Miller's barn, where the broken find their calm. Raise your glass to the lost and gone, to the whiskey saints who carried on. If you prayed or cursed beneath this roof, you got forgiveness in your palm. This last call, one more song at Miller's barn. Every man becomes a legend when the jukebox fades to static. Every sin turns cinematic in the glow of neon attic. We trade our guilt for barroom hymns, our shame for 4/4 time, and call it healing just because the rhyme fits in the rhyme. But mercy doesn't ask for proof, it only asks you stay. So I linger in the doorway till the lights give up the day. It's last call at Miller's barn. Let the fiddle take us home. Raise your glass to every scar that taught your heart to roam. If love's a song we never learned, at least we hum to learn. Good night, my sins, my saints, my friends. Miller's lights are gone. Flickering neon cross above the lobby's busted sign. Thunderbird Motel offers cable heat and peace of mind. I checked in on a Tuesday when my luck was out of gas. My heart was just a suitcase full of folded second chances. The clerk behind the bullet glass said, "Cash or pray tonight." I paid in crumbled blessings from a glove box full of spite. Room 19 smelled of cedar smoke and half-forgotten vows. The Bible in the drawer still bore my thumbprint somehow. I flipped it open randomly. Isaiah met Jack D. They talked about redemption like two drunks in Tennessee. Outside of semi's engine brake sang psalms in diesel key, and I wrote down confessions on Motel stationery. The mirror cracked from corner to corner like my plans, reflecting all the versions of the man I can't withstand. I pray for every promise that I'd hung but never kept, then lay down on the bedspread where forgiveness softly wept. Thunderbird Motel Bible, pages thin as cigarette smoke. I swear I saw my guardian angel laugh beneath the holy choke. Between the bedpost and the doorway, there's a grace I can't define. Thunderbird Motel Bible, save a sinner one more time. At 2 a.m. the walls confess the stories they'd been told. 1,000 whispered hallelujahs, hearts gone hard and cold. A trucker cried to Elvis, a widow cursed her ring. A preacher hid his collar for a girl who couldn't sing. And somewhere in the static hum I swore I heard my name, like Mercy dialing long distance just to ask if I still came. I tore a page from Proverbs, folded into shape of wings, then stuck it in the mirror as a sign of broken things. By sunrise all the stains looked like a pattern, not a shame. The Bible spine was open wide, no blame, just borrowed flame. I left a 20 on a stand with a note that simply read, for the next lost soul who checks in tired but not yet dead. Thunderbird Motel Bible, pages thin as cigarette smoke. I swear I saw my guardian angel laugh beneath the holy choke. Between the bedpost and the doorway, there's a grace I can't define. Thunderbird Motel Bible, save a sinner one more time. Maybe heaven's just a vacancy with one lamp left to glow. A Gideon's hand extended when you've got no place to go. Maybe face a checking desk where mercy takes your key and says rest a while, the charges here are paid invisibly. Thunderbird Motel Bible, I left my sins behind the door. Every verse a little lighter than the lies I wore before. When my wheels roll past that exit and the morning hymns align, Thunderbird Motel Bible, Thanks for saving me this time.
The church was closed for winter storms. The preacher couldn't come, so we married by the rail yard under diesel's steady hum. She wore a thrift store satin dress, I wore my workday grind. The witness was a brakeman, and the whistle marked the time. Her mama said it wasn't right, her daddy never came. But love don't check its timetable when it hears a thunder name. We swapped rings carved from copper wire that lined the signal stand, and sealed our vows in cinders with a coal train wedding band. The steam rolled out like blessings thick enough to make us cough. Our laughter rose like iron sparks till daylight wore it off. She said we'll build a house one day where smoke don't stain the view. But heaven's got a blacktop road that rarely lets you through. I shoveled through the years ahead, she kept the kerosene. Lit every dark December night our fortune hadn't seen. And though our table creaked with debt, our hearts stayed hand in hand, still shining with the fire from that coal train wedding band. Coal train wedding band, forged in steel and dust, polished by calloused hands, proof of love and trust. You can't melt what the world won't bless, can't break what we withstand. Forever's in the rumbling of that coal train wedding band. Our first child came in '84, the plant laid off in May. She took on sewing curtains just to keep the wolves at bay. I'd hear the 2 a.m. express roll past the edge of town, and count each car like rosary until my hope calmed down. We lost that baby's locket once down by the service track, but found it years and tears later, still shining coal dust black. And when the doctor told her time was short as autumn's hand, she smiled and said we had enough, my coal train wedding band. I scattered her where rails converge beneath the water tower. The sky turned red with parting smoke, the wind with memory power. I still wear copper on my thumb, it cuts but keeps me true. Each scar another station where our promise still comes through. Coal train wedding band, forged in steel and dust, polished by calloused hands, proof of love and trust. You can't melt what the world won't bless, can't break what we withstand. Forever's in the rumbling of that coal train wedding band. Now engines hum like lullabies through every mile I roam, I chase her in the echoes till the whistle calls me home. And when my number's painted on that final boxcar's end, I'll slip this copper ring to fate and see her once again. Coal train wedding band, forged in love's command, hammered by the trials we faced, cooled by heaven's hand. If there's a God in diesel smoke, He'll understand. Forever still in motion in that coal train wedding band.
The storm rolled in on dinner plates and mason jars of tea. Lightning stitched the pasture seams like quilts your mama'd piece. Granddad's Bible on the table, open where it fell, a dog-eared page of Psalms in mud we trad from wooden wells. The trailer screen door rattled time with thunder's metronome, and every drip from pipe to pail kept saying you are home. You stood in kitchen window light, a halo made of rain, and asked me if the hard years had been worth their rust and pain. I thought about the harvest that we begged from brittle clay, the notes that came like winter crows and wouldn't fly away. I thought about our fights that cracked like summer lightning scars, but always left a smell of fresh cut promises and bars. The tin roof spoke a language that our words could never say, 1,000 soft amens that washed the bitterness away. You poured the cornbread in the pan, I stoked the oven's glow, and found the kind of quiet where the truest mercies grow. Tin roof benediction, let the rain lay hands on me, beat a hymn on corrugation, tune my heart to keep. Every drop a choir voice, every gust a prayer. Tin roof benediction, keep our love repaired. I pulled the breaker when the lights began to flick and fade. We lit a bunch of candles like a country masquerade. In shadow patchwork silhouettes, we look like better folks, the kind who take their sorrows and can turn them into jokes. The radio on batteries found gospel in the storm, a preacher with a drawl as slow as July's tepid corn. He said forgiveness isn't soft, it's iron bent by grace. And I could feel your fingers find the back roads of my face. You told me mama's recipe for holding steady ground, add a pinch of patience when the sky is wearing frowns. Hold your tongue like reins and ride the arc
by Grandpa's shed. The gutters overflowed, a river down the driveway hummed an old revival ode. We stood beneath the doorway's cross of light and watery hymn, and kissed like folks who know the difference between loss and win. Tin roof benediction, let the rain lay hands on me. Beat a hymn on corrugation, tune my heart to key. Every drop a choir voice, every gust a prayer. Tin roof benediction, keep our love repaired. Maybe grace is not a thunderbolt that raises and remakes. Maybe grace is just a steady roof that holds for all your aches. Maybe blessing isn't gold, it's galvanized and plain, a lullaby in 4/4 time that sings. Remain, remain. If sanctuaries shut their doors and choirs lose their tune, we'll lift a spoon of promise and a storm-soaked tin roof moon. Tin roof benediction, keep on laying hands. Drum of faith that doesn't flinch when life revises plans. If we wander, call us back with thunder soft and sure. Tin roof benediction, make our love endure. When dawn comes white on puddles and the world smells like it's new, we'll step outside and carry all this mercy into view. Tin roof benediction, amen, me and you.
We lived on neighboring sections split by cedar posts and time. Two families with a history like dust in cattle's eyes. Your daddy taught you fencing, mine taught me to climb. And somewhere on that property line we tangled hearts and spines. February's thin and mean out on the northern flats. A sky like frostbitten knuckles when the chew's right through your hat. You carved a heart in winter bark, I twined my name with yours. We kissed through scarves and wire gaps like outlaws at the doors. Your mother said I wasn't fit, a drifter with a truck. My daddy called your last name cursed by oil field busted luck. But Valentine's ain't paper when the prairie stamped your soul. Their poems scratched in barbed wire that no sermon can control. We met by moonlit fence lines where the heifers watched like saints, where every twist of silver thorn drew blood for what we'd paint. I brought you chocolate from the feed store wrapped in bandana red. You laughed and said it's perfect, sweet and useful if I bled. Barbed wire Valentine, thorned and true, tied with knots and winter glue. If love's supposed to break in two, we'll stitch it close like ranch hands do. Barbed wire Valentine, hold fast, hold fine. I'll be yours and you'll be mine. We dreamed of getting hitched come spring beneath the cottonwoods. A borrowed dress, a bolo tie, a pot of luck made it good. I saved in coffee cans and watched the price of calves go south. You took night shifts at the diner, burned the sugar from your mouth. Your brother got too heavy, drink, my cousin ran his mouth. Our parents clamped the rumors like a trap you can't get out. But every time the fence stretched tight between our hungry hands, we swore the sparks that jumped were stars, obeying wedding plans. I still recall the blizzard night that tried to take you home. Your truck went sideways into drifts along the gravel loam. I slogged a mile with fence pliers, rope and stubborn prayer. I found you in a snow globe cab with breath like frosty flare. We wrapped ourselves in saddle blankets, burned the owner's manual, and waited on the cattle guard for mercy's blue-eyed animal. By dawn a county plowman pulled the both of us alive. You held my wrist and whispered, looks like love knows how to drive. Barbed wire Valentine, thorned and true, tied with knots and winter glue. If love's supposed to break in two, we'll stitch it close like ranch hands do. Barbed wire Valentine, hold fast, hold fine, I'll be yours and you'll be mine. Let the neighbors talk in circles like the windmills when it's still. Let the preachers warn of bleeding every time we climb a hill. I'd rather scar with you beside me, mending line by line, than heal alone in houses built on someone else's spine. Barbed wire Valentine, we made it through. Snow and tongues and busted rules. If spring arrives with wildflower news, we'll crown our fence with ribbon blues. Barbed wire Valentine, forever signed. Call it rough, call it real, call it mine. And if our love leaves marks, well, so do brands that last in time. Barbed wire Valentine, we're welded by design. The courthouse steps are sober like the wind at closing time, and every neon dream is boxed and labeled not in line. They voted twice to keep the taps as empty as the choir, so thirst became a language spoken soft but edged with wire. I got your card in mid-July, a stamp from Galveston, a picture of a boardwalk bar with salt on everyone. You wrote, I found a jukebox that remembers all our sins, and learn to toast forgiveness till a brand new life begins. I read it on the feed store bench where gossip blooms like sage. Old timers watched me smile and said, son, turn the other page. The sheriff waved like Sunday, said, behave and you'll get by. But law can't patch a heart that wants the ocean for a cry. You drew a heart around the name of some old Willie tune, and traced the rim of margaritas like a harvest moon. I licked the salt that paper held and tasted stock the church's eyes for lemonade with pride. Postcard from a dry county, wet as memory can be. You mailed me waves and barstool grace I'm not allowed to see. I'll raise a glass of something sweet and call your name to mine. Postcard from a dry county, drowning me in kind. They say the devil lives in drink, the angels in restraint. But I have seen a saint or two serve mercy by the pint. And I have watched a cruel man quit by setting down his glass, while sober tongues carve deeper ruts they never let me pass. On Friday nights the parking lots are packed with quiet sins. The coolers clinking, truck bed trunks as hymns tuck people in. We drive out to the county line where neon starts to glow, and promise it's just soda, though our eyes already know. I keep your card inside my billfold like a smuggled spark. It lights my face and bathroom glass when nights turn county dark. I hear a band in distant towns through static on the dial, and picture you in turquoise boots that dance 1,000 miles. If courage had a flavor, it would taste like salted lime. And if this place allowed it, I would toast you every time. But courage here is quiet, church basement coffee strong. A promise not to shame the ones who keep us walking long. Postcard from a dry county, wet as memory can be. You mailed me waves and barstool grace I'm not allowed to see. I'll raise a glass of something sweet and call your name to mine. Postcard from a dry county, drowning me in kind. Maybe I don't need a bottle, maybe I just need a porch, a summer storm, a steel guitar, a hand to guide the torch. Maybe what I'm missing isn't liquor, it is you, and all the easy laughter that turns water into truth.
Postcard from a dry county, rain me back to life.
I'll meet you at the county line with daisies, not a night.
We'll sip the law's allowance,
Sweet tea, peach and thyme, and let our kisses do the rest the statutes undermine. Postcard from a dry county, keep your ink from fading blue till I can leave these sober streets and drink the sky with you. If I never cross that border, no, I stayed for those I tend, but every night I read your card and toast you love again.
The magnolias lean like eavesdroppers in Carolina dusk. The widow's porch light flickers through the sweet tobacco musk. She pours 2 glasses nightly, though there's only 1 chair used, and sets the second on the rail, tradition not excuse. Her husband's photo keeps its grin beneath a frame of dust. A soldier boy turned farmer turned a name she speaks and trusts. The neighbors nod politely when her screen door creaks at 10. They say she keeps good company, even if it's just pretend. The town forgot his laughter, but the river hasn't yet. It hums his hummingbird refrain through every bayou sweat. He used to sing of second chances under storm-wet pines. Now thunder's his reminder that the heart outlasts its times. She rocks and hums to fiddle tunes the radio won't play. Old hymns she's been to whiskey's key in memory's slow decay. Her ring still shines though knuckles ache from pulling rows alone. Each sip a little courage for the long road back to bone. Widow's porch whiskey, aged in rain and ache, poured for ghosts that still attend the vows we couldn't break. Raise a glass to the gone, but here to the silence she won't fear. Widow's porch whiskey, love don't evaporate. The local kids make stories up about her twilight guest. They say a soldier spirit guards her house from cruel jest. But those who've sat a spell out back can feel the softest thrum of boots that never quit the porch, though marching days are done. She talks as if he answers which unsettled city kin. But in the South we understand the line between and within. Don't pity me, she chuckles, grief's a fine cigar to light. You puff it slow, you savor smoke, you don't curse out the night. At harvest moon she hosts a wake for all her living friends. They dance on pine board floorboards till the sorrow gently bends. They leave a shot glass on the post and whisper, rest him well. Then stagger home with hope enough to keep their own soul shelled. And when the dawn comes, lavender and dew betrays her eyes. She tips the bottle heavenward and laughs between her sighs. Till kingdom come or county fair, whichever gets here first, I'll pour 2 fingers more of faith to quench this blessed thirst. Widow's porch whiskey, aged in rain and ache, poured for ghosts that still attend the vows we couldn't break. Raise a glass to the gone, but here to the silence she won't fear. Widow's porch whiskey, love don't evaporate. Maybe love's the old cask air can't steal. Maybe grief's the angels share we feel. Maybe heaven tastes like mash and corn, distilled from hearts the world had worn. Widow's porch whiskey, amber prayer, to the empty rocking chair still paired with air. Raise a toast to all who stay in spirit, sweat, or yesterday. Widow's porch whiskey, slow and straight. Some souls age better once they wait. And as long as porch lights burn and memories pour neat, Widow's porch whiskey keeps love's barrel sweet.